With all preparations for the founding of the nation complete, time flew by, and soon it was the 10th month of the 5th year of the Daming era. The prefects who had previously returned to their respective prefectures all rushed back. For the time being, they had stepped down from their old positions and would only assume their new roles after the great founding ceremony was completed. Nevertheless, they had already begun to familiarize themselves with their future responsibilities. In late October, winter had fully set in. As it was the off-season for farming, there were few matters for the officials to manage. Thus, they were all summoned to the capital to begin preparing for the various sacrificial rites required for the founding ceremony, all of which needed to be rehearsed in advance. Additionally, the new official uniforms that Luo Chang had tasked Xiao Dai and her team with creating had to be distributed for fittings. If any adjustments were needed, they had to be made quickly. Meanwhile, Ying Rui sent word from Kaiyuan Prefecture on the grasslands, inviting Suritu to the Han tribe's capital, Chang'an, to attend the founding ceremony. Suritu had no idea what a founding ceremony was, but he had heard that the Han tribe had grown increasingly powerful over the years. Every time he went to Kaiyuan Prefecture to purchase supplies, he would hear of the tribe's latest changes. For example, in Kaiyuan Prefecture, he saw that all citizens of the Han tribe had been issued identity cards complete with black and white photographs, which he found miraculous. He even discovered a photo studio in Kaiyuan, which took portraits for a fee. Finding it a great novelty, Suritu brought many of his clansmen to have their pictures taken. The photo studio also had an exhibition wall displaying many photographs. It was there, on a photo, that Suritu saw the leader of the Han tribe, Luo Chang, for the first time. Besides Luo Chang's portrait, there were pictures of the Han tribe's unique architecture from various regions, as well as their great ships, railways, trains, tractors, and excavators. There were also photos depicting their customs, such as wedding portraits. From these fascinating pictures, Suritu learned that the Han tribe had developed many more advanced modes of transportation, which was the thing he cared about most. Was this the capital of the Han tribe? When Suritu and the other nomadic chieftains arrived in the capital, they were instantly dumbfounded. They rode a train from Chang'an to Chuohai Prefecture and then set sail from Chuohai, where they witnessed the vastness of the ocean, ate delicious seafood, and sampled the Han tribe's newly brewed beer. Today, one could take the East Wind Express Heis bead train directly from Keuyang Prefecture on Gyeongju Island to the capital and Chuohai Prefecture. The Han tribe had trains and tractors that could move without being pulled by horses or oxen. What impact would this have on the grasslands? Would the Han tribe no longer need to buy horses and cattle from the nomads? And most crucially, these vehicles could run on their own without the need for livestock. After this eye-opening experience on the train, Luo Chang personally received them upon their return to Chang'an. He invited them to the military barracks west of the imperial palace to see the Han soldiers and their current weaponry. Suritu knew, however, that the rifles they were shown were merely the Han tribe's most basic bull, Takshan models, which he had handled before. But the Han now possessed semi-automatic rifles and fully automatic machine guns. This was too late. At the New Year's Eve banquet, Luo Chang suddenly joked with Suritu today, "I've appointed so many officials. What are your thoughts, now that Ying Rui has come to Chang'an to be the Minister of Justice? Would you like to join the Han tribe? I can offer you the position of Prefect of Kaiyuan Prefecture." Suritu immediately broke out in a cold sweat. Had this Han leader, just after proclaiming himself emperor, already set his sights on the half of the grasslands still under Suritu's control? Luo Chang nodded and paid him no further mind. This was a classic case of not knowing what's good for you. Suritu wanted to argue, but Luo Chang ignored him. He had just offered him the position of Prefect of Kaiyuan, and he had refused. Did he want to regret it now? Just as Suritu turned to leave, having taken no more than 2 steps, Luo Chang's voice boomed across the banquet hall. "Draft a plan for the conquest of the northwestern grasslands for the Ministry of War. I'll give you 4 cavalry regiments. Within 6 months, I want the entire steppe brought under the Han Empire's domain." Luo Chang didn't even try to be discreet. Knowing full well that Suratu was nearby, he said it right in front of him. Suratu, who was only a few steps away, turned pale. "This was just bullying. Even if you were going to attack me, couldn't you at least wait until I'd left before discussing it? Were you really going to be this blatant?" Luo Chang waved his hand, and several imperial guards immediately escorted Suratu away. They didn't kill him, but simply placed him under house arrest for the time being. If the man had any sense, he would figure things out. He might even be useful in the future. When Luo Chang returned with the group of nomadic chieftains, it was already the end of the 13th month of the 5th year of Daming, with only a few days left until the new year on the 1st day of the 14th month. On New Year's Day, the processions began to assemble at the crack of dawn. On the tall altar outside the city, livestock were first sacrificed as offerings. Then a prayer was read to the heavens, recounting all of Luo Chang's accomplishments and contributions to the nation since he became leader. Now his work had come to fruition. Mandated by heaven for a long and prosperous reign, he officially founded the state, established its institutions, and ascended the throne as emperor with the dynastic name of Han. After the prayer was read, the yellow paper on which it was written was burned, an offering to the heavens. And so Luo Chang became the first emperor of the Han Empire. At the court session, Luo Chang announced the new reign title. The first reign title of the newly founded Han Empire would be Yongshang Eternal Prosperity, making the following month the beginning of the 1st year of Yongshang. This corresponded with his ascension and expressed the hope that the newborn empire would flourish forever. After the rituals were complete, Luo Chang shared the sacrificial foods with everyone before leading the civil and military officials back. He then led them back to the Vermilion Bird Tower atop the Imperial Palace's main gate, also known as the First Gate under Heaven. While everyone else watched the ceremony from the tower, Luo Chang, mounted on a pure black stallion, personally inspected the military formations. At that moment, columns of neatly arranged infantry and cavalry marched out from the western barracks of the Imperial Palace. They formed up on the Grand Avenue in front of the Vermilion Bird Gate, and Luo Chang began the military review. After ennobling the imperial relatives, he began conferring official titles upon his ministers and chancellors. That same year, Luo Chang had 3 more children, 2 little princesses and a young prince, bringing the total number of children of His Majesty, the Emperor of Han, to 8. In the 4th year of Yongshang, the 10,000 strong Land Reclamation Corps, formed from youths captured from the cannibal tribes, now had 4 members who had reached adulthood. These 4 young men were immediately assigned to the road construction teams, contributing to the expansion of the Han Empire's railway network. After this line was completed, the construction teams were dispatched to Chenkang Prefecture to upgrade the existing narrow-gauge tracks to wide-gauge high-speed railway. By the 5th year of Yongshang, after 5 years of vigorous development since the nation's founding, the 3 industrial zones Luo Chang had established in the south were largely complete. The capital, Chang'an, boasted a highly developed light industry and food processing sector. The manufacturing base in Chuohai Prefecture was finished, and the heavy industry in Qian Prefecture was becoming increasingly sophisticated. However, a massive wildfire broke out on the western grasslands, stretching for over 1,000 miles and reducing the entire western steppe to ash, killing countless wild animals. But this event led to the Han Empire's discovery of an oil and gas field. In the same year, the Chemistry Institute of the Academy of Sciences successfully used dry distillation to separate crude oil into light gasoline, medium, grade diesel, viscous heavy oil, and ultra-light kerosene. Still in the same year, the Academy's Institute of Dynamics easily developed the world's first internal combustion engine. They had dreamed of it for over a decade, but its creation had been impossible without a suitable fuel. Finally, it roared to life. This internal combustion engine, well, it was actually a two-stroke, single-cylinder diesel engine. It lacked spark plugs and an electric starter, relying on an inertia-based internal energy ignition method, the legendary hand crank. With this small engine, tractors no longer needed to be fitted with boilers, allowing them to be built much smaller. A four-cylinder diesel engine was developed shortly after, and in that year, the Han Empire produced its first four-wheeled diesel-powered Jeep. In the second year of day, the roads of Chang'an began to be upgraded. Natural asphalt, mined in Heiyuan Prefecture, was continuously shipped to Chuohai Prefecture and then transported by the East Wind Express to Chang'an. After half a year of effort, all of Chang'an's main streets were paved with asphalt. In the second year of Tianqiu, His Majesty Emperor Luo Chong of the Great Han suddenly conceived a desire to fly. He ordered his men to find balsa wood, construct a biplane, and fit it with a gasoline engine and propeller. After being started with a hand crank, the plane successfully took to the skies. Luo Cheng, now a young man in his teens, personally cranked the handle. A moment later, with a sputtering roar, a puff of black smoke shot out from the exhaust pipe. The test pilot flew the plane for over 40 minutes above Shanglin Park. The next day, the story made the front page of the Chang'an Daily, causing a sensation throughout the entire southern metropolitan region. That people could actually fly in the sky. This news was once again featured on the front page of the Chang'an Daily. The people suddenly realized that humanity soaring through the sky like birds was perhaps not so unattainable after all. The following year, a pilot flew the plane from the grassy field of Shanglin Park, across the strait, over Gyeongju Island, and then turned back, completing an extraordinary feat of ultra-long, duration flight. In the third year of Tianqiu, with the advent of electrolytic aluminum, the Han Empire gained the ability to produce aluminum alloys. The Physics Research Institute was the first to discover that electricity could be used to break down minerals to extract metals. They used this process to decompose a mineral and produce mithril. When presented to Luo Chang, His Majesty the Emperor renamed it, declaring, "This stuff shall be called aluminum." That same year, the Han Empire's first electrolytic aluminum smelter was completed. Aluminum quickly became the new favorite in the world of materials due to its incredibly light weight. In the fifth year of Tianqiu, even more powerful six-cylinder and V8 engines were created. The first long-nosed, luxurious Mercedes-Benz sedan appeared on the streets of Chang'an. That same year, Gu Cheng, the director of the Academy of Sciences Institute of Mechanics, after 5 years of painstaking research, finally succeeded in creating wristwatches and pocket watches no bigger than a silver dollar. A trend of the wealthy wearing watches began to form in the Han Empire. At the New Year's Day Grand Court Assembly on the eve of the 5th year of Yongchang, His Majesty Emperor Luo Chong of the Great Han changed the reign title once more, renaming it Day Great Enterprise, signifying the creation of a monumental undertaking. The war against the outside world felt like a joke. It started swiftly and ended just as abruptly. Without losing a single soldier, the Han Empire conquered the entire grassland with effortless ease. In the last 2 months, there were hardly any battles fought. Conquest was achieved by proclamation. Wherever the Han Empire's men raised their banner and shouted, "We claim this land," the nearby populace would immediately and obediently submit. They had no choice. They couldn't afford to resist. All the people of the grasslands were brought into the fold, and the empire's population surged to 970,000. As a beautiful evening descended upon Chang'an, Streetlights lining the roads flickered on like long, glowing serpents. A middle-aged man of 40, dressed in black dragon robes with a gold watch on his wrist, sat in a luxurious Mercedes-Benz sedan, driving slowly through the streets and alleys of the capital. The Tree Tribe, the Black Rat Tribe, the Fire Tribe, the Serpent Tribe, the Chestnut Tribe, the Zin Tribe, the Tang Tribe, the Yaozhong clan, the Yaoqiao clan. Familiar faces flashed before his eyes, and the middle-aged man's somewhat weary eyes glistened with tears. "Your Majesty, I'm here." A mouse one, groggy from drinking, heard Luo Cheng call and came running. He hurried before Luo Cheng's desk, prostrated himself, and exclaimed loudly, War is good." He had been made an admiral of the navy for years, and was bored to death. The moment he heard his leader order him to war, he sobered up instantly. "This prosperous era is everything I wished for." The end.